Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, here is a tutorial for the unofficial Square-2 Rubik's Cube. It may look very hard, but it's actually much easier than you think. So, let's get into it. Now, before we start, you must make sure that you know how to solve the square one, as there's literally a step in the square two known as just solve the rest like a square one. If you don't, then make sure to check out my tutorial on that. So, the first step of this method that I invented is called corner pairing. Now, look. It's just a square 2 is just like a square 1. However, the corners of a square 1 are split in two and you need to pair them up. So you can take a square 1 for reference, but if you're timing it, you can't really do that. So for example, let's start with this. Now, if we look on the square 1, which corner would go with that? Now we can see that a red, white, or yellow on the left side would be this piece. That means that we need to find a yellow-green on the right side, like this. So there's one. So then you need to bring, it depends if the corner you're pairing up, you need to keep one on the bottom and one on the top. And this needs to be on the other side, like that. And then slice. You have a pair. Now you need to do this for every single corner. Now I recommend for yellow corner pairings, put one on the do it on the top. But if you're trying to pair up one that has white, put that on the bottom. Now we can see that this is a white orange on the left bottom. That means that it would be this one. And we need to pair it with a blue white. There's one right here, but that one's on the right side. If we try slicing it, it won't pair. So sometimes if you have it on the other layer, you can just bring it up by slicing, but making sure that you don't bring the other piece along as well. And slice. Now you need to make sure that you pair every one of these corners correctly. And in case you don't, I'll show how to solve it at the end of this video. So, for this, it's blue, white on the left. That means we need to pair it with a white, red. So where is one? There's one around here. So we can pair it up. Now I'm going to go a little faster here. This is an orange, white right here on the right side. So green, white on the left side is what it's going to pair it. So we can just simply do that. Then this is the piece. So we need to pair it with this one, which is the right side of the blue, yellow. However, there is a problem. You need to make sure that when you slice it, then you can't break any. So in case that happens, here is how to solve it. So you see, you can just move one piece away until when you slice it, it won't pair, but it doesn't pair. Then your next step is to find two or more edges. Now we together like this. So we have four. So we need to go into the middle, then slice one of the piece on the right down, but that breaks one. So then what you can do is slice this and the edge down, then pair them up so that they won't be breaking it. And there'll be more examples in case that one was a little bit hard. But this one is down here, so we need to find this one right here, pair it up, but it'll break this. So we just move it over and pair it up. Now to solve this, we see that there's four edges, but it will break this also. So we bring this, we go to the next one. Make sure you don't bring all three of these down. So just two, down. And when we pair them up, none of the corners break. This piece is the piece right here. So we need to pair it with this, which is right here. So we can just pair them up, but that'll break a piece. So again, move over and find some edges. However, what if there isn't two or more edges? Well, guess what? Trial and error. Make sure that you're at least close to one edge, and even when we pair that up, it worked. Now there's one final one left, and the final one is usually the hardest. Now if we break this down, this will break that. So we move over, but then that won't work because when we move it over, it will break that. So we need to put it back here, or can we? See, what we need to do next is bring it up in some sort of way that won't break anything, preferably with edges. Now, the way we're gonna solve this is, trial and error works. We can slice it down. So just do some types of slices and stuff, and you'll get it. And that can take time, but it's okay. And the next step is, guess what? We've paired all the corners. Now we just solve it normally like a square one. So we can pair the 8 edges and then solve that. And then that. For my square one, it's one on top. So then edges. So we can do that. And let's do a quick check for anything that is gone, any corners that have gone wrong. And no, you'll notice that while you're doing the second last steps, corner permutation. And there we go. Solved cube. But sometimes you can be at corner permutation and like, hey, I don't recognize this case. That's because you messed up. And guess what happens when you mess up? There is no way to solve it. So you can just try trial and error by slashing, and that actually has worked once for me. But that's why it's super important to make sure you do it correctly. Then you can either just not scramble it, but do a few slashes, or just try to pair them up with slashes like this. And that is one thing that you can definitely do. So it's a little bit messed up, but I can quickly, using the step method, solving these pieces like that. Oh, nope, that doesn't work. Just try there. Yep, that works. And then we can pair up these corners. Which one goes with this? Oh, right here. So we can bring that into the top layer and solve that. Or, yep, that doesn't do anything. And then we solve this last one. Or do we? Trial and error works. Or the edges way. Both work anyways. And then, okay, we have one more. And then after you've done all of your stuff to just fix it, then you can go back to something is wrong, to the square one step. But that is why you should, even before the square one step, make sure that all of your corners are done correctly. But that is not necessary. That's it for today's video. I hope you now know how to solve the square one. Make sure to subscribe as we get closer to our goal of 250 subscribers by the end of 2025. And guess what? Once again, 80% of you guys watching my videos are not subscribed. So please make sure to do it. Like and stop making my cubes disappear. Bye.